got to just stay on the whole program. So, you know, they can just go. You can have more if it runs out. But this will be 2 hours. So hopefully, but if you could, just squeeze up on the top and you'll see it go in and out. Now stick your hand up there and you can, and you can zoom in and zoom out. Yeah, and I just wanted you, if you could occasionally just pan the audience, and then you can go sit down, because ain't no big thing, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I said, I just thought I'd do that, because again, she'd have something. Right, well, that's what Mrs. Blue said. Right, well, guess what, you sound like me. And the way I'm at leisure is to make sure I do what?
That's you guys give a reason for getting it.
Okay, I'm up here. Yeah. Yeah, we can. I'll tell you. I'm gonna take that. Right up at the top, you got an E-jack, and let me show you. Yes, we
Now mine are going to stand by. If I hit it.
just cuts off.
Is there a fade out? Like fade?
Fade and all that other stuff. Right now, they asked.
take your seats, please. Can't hear you. Good evening. Thank you. I said one of the niceties about being master ceremony is I get to change my name. I noticed in the program it's James. My name is Jim Henderson, and on a more serious note, I can't tell you what a privilege and honor it is to be the master ceremony for this occasion of Mrs. Blue's retirement dinner. She knows how I feel about her, and this is a great occasion. Now, I would be remiss if I'm not reminded of the fact that Geneva has lost a great friend, Mr. Jenkins. He was a member of our commission, a civic leader, a parent, and a friend to all. I'm sure although he's not here physically, he's here spiritually and in our hearts. And I'd just like to please have a moment of silence in his behalf. Thank you. And now I'd like to call on the Reverend Clarence Williams of Mount Calvary Church, who will give the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening and for this grand and auspicious occasion. We thank you, O God, for Sister Rosa, who labored down through the years. We thank you, O God, for the many hours and days and weeks and months and years that she strove and all of the things that she has done to better mankind. And we thank you, O God, for her ability to reach out to humanity and to help those who are underprivileged. For we realize, O God, that we all should be drum majors of righteousness and love and care for our brothers and sisters everywhere. And Lord, we thank you that you have blessed her to touch the lives of men and women, boys and girls throughout her tenure. And we thank you, O God, for the tenacity to hold on in the midst of adversities and striving to do the will of the Master and working and providing for those who are underprivileged and needed help. And we ask, O God, that you would bless those who have come to honor her tonight. And we ask that our fellowship will just grow, and grow. And we ask you, Lord, not only to do that, but to bless the serving and providing of the food that we shall receive. For we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Williams. I'd now like to introduce the here table. To my immediate right, your left, is my lovely wife, Beth. To her right, your left, is Kim Reich, who is the chair of the Human Rights Commission. To her right is our husband, Bruce. To his right is Karen Baer, who's the new executive director of the Human Rights Commission, and our husband, William. To my immediately left is Mr. Forrest Cummings, Jr. and Mrs. Cummings. More official and formal greetings, not greetings, what am I doing? Introduction will follow. I'm getting nervous, folks. And believe it or not, I had to speak in front of 900 students this morning, and this was a piece of cake then. Now I'm getting to the honored guest, Mrs. Blue, and her husband, Mr. Blue. and the Honorable Mayor Joanne Weiser, and to her left, the Reverend Clarence Williams, who you just heard from, and his wife, Mrs. Williams. I'd now like to turn this over to Ms. Kim Reich to give you a walk.
To having a chance to meet all of you and during this service. We're here this evening to honor the nearly 29 years of service that Rosa has provided to our community through her employment with the Human Rights Commission. However, all of us know that Rosa never considered this position just a job. This was her calling, and she conducted herself in a way to maximize the potential of every citizen in the city of Geneva. She has truly touched the life of every one of us here and every one of the current residents and future residents of the city. I hear a small person over there. And people had no idea the way that she has done that. And again, I'd just like to say I'm so glad to see so many people here who come to honor Rosa and the work that she's done. And enjoy the rest of the evening.
We go to be served at the buffet. We're having soup right now, but if I'm a good master of ceremony, I will definitely keep things rolling. One of the things that I want to do that I think is very appropriate right now is that we have quite a few representatives from the Human Rights Commission. What I'd like to do, and it'll only take a moment first, but I have the present Geneva Human Rights Commission members stand up and please remain standing. Present Geneva Human Rights Commission members, please stand and remain standing. Okay, y'all can do the same thing, right? Thank you. All right, could we please have all the past and former members of the Geneva Human Rights Commission please stand. Now, can we please have the representatives for both the state and local human rights commissions to please stand? Wow, now we can applaud, folks. Enjoy your seat. I think we're going to have to move along with the program. I'm reminded that it's getting pretty late. Now, before we have readings from Mayor Weiser, could I have your attention, folks, please? Let me go through and give some quick thank yous to Keith Stockman and CompuCopy, Community Bank, Neil Stokely, photographer, Beth Henderson for letting us have all our meetings at our house and occasionally overnight refreshments. Mr. Lagat and the staff here at Club 86 have been just terrific. Now, moving along, I'd like now to call on the Honorable Joanne Weiser, Mayor of Geneva, to give the greetings. Mayor Weiser.
I'm pleased to be here tonight to again express the thanks of a grateful city to Rosa for her many, many years of service. Some of it was official as Executive Director of the Commission on Human Rights, but as we all know, a great deal of your service, Rosa, was unofficial and came from the heart. Thank you for your part in organizing the Martin Luther King March back in 1972. We're one of a small number of cities that mark his birthday in a very big way. We're very, very proud of that celebration. And our local branch of the NAACP is a strong community force as well, thanks to your early leadership efforts. When you were interviewed for the Finger Lakes Times article, you said, quote, "We still have a long way to go." Yes, we do. But you and the others who've worked by your side have charted an admirable course, and we're grateful for your leadership and your support.
Thank you, Mayor Weiser. We'd now like to call on Ms. Joanne Linehan from the Assemblyman Gary Dorn's office. She'll present a joint citation from the New York State Assembly and Senate. Ms. Linehan?
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Assemblyman Craig Dorn and Senator Mazzolio in the state of New York, I would like to read this legislative resolution honoring Rosa Blue upon the occasion of her retirement after 29 years of dedicated service as Director of the Geneva Human Rights Commission. Whereas this legislative body seeks to acknowledge those individuals whose professional lives and civic endeavors serve to enhance the stature of the state of New York. And whereas in 1964, Rosa Blue helped to form the Geneva Human Rights Commission. 4 years later, she was appointed to the part-time position of Executive Director, eventually leading to her full-time position as Executive Director. And whereas for the past 29 years, Rosa Blue, as Executive Director of the Geneva Human Rights Commission, has unselfishly given of her time and effort in attempting to make the dream of human dignity, equal justice, and opportunity a reality for all citizens of the city of Geneva. And whereas Rosa Blue was one of the original organizers of the annual Martin Luther King birthday celebration, which has been conducted annually in the city since 1972. In 1967, she was named president of the local NAACP chapter, a position she held for several years. And whereas, besides her efforts to promote civil and human rights, Rosa Blue, a deeply religious woman, has also been the longtime secretary for the Mount Calvary Church of God in Christ. And whereas, after 29 years of promoting harmony and the rights of all citizens, Rosa Blue retired from her position as Executive Director of the Human Rights Commission on February 14, 1997. And whereas, during her tenure at the Geneva Human Rights Commission, Rosa Blue earned the admiration, esteem, and affection of her colleagues. Now therefore be it resolved that this legislative body pauses in its deliberations to honor Rosa Blue upon the occasion of her retirement after 29 years of distinguished service to the Geneva Human Rights Commission, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution suitably engrossed be transmitted to Rosa Blue, adopted in the Senate on May 28, 1997.
Okay, now I'd like to call on Canberra, Executive Director of the Human Rights Commission, give the formal introduction of our keynote speaker.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I must begin by saying, when I introduce myself, or am introduced by others as the new Executive Director of the Geneva Human Rights Commission, the response, more often than not, is, oh. You're that new person. You're that one that took Rosa's place. This remark often gives me pause. It is at this humbling moment that the thought always occurs to me. I can't honestly reply yes, because I know, and everyone else knows, no one could ever really take Rosa's place. But regardless of the fact that fate had it that I follow such a dedicated and amazing example like Rosa, I still am optimistic enough to believe I can make a contribution to human rights in the city of Geneva. A great deal of this optimism stems from the fact that I have had the great fortune of connecting with the most exceptional human rights experts in New York State, many of whom are present here this evening. However, one professional relationship that began in the first few days of my tenure at the Human Rights Commission stands atop this distinguished list. This colleague's name is Forrest Cummings, Jr. Forrest Cummings, Jr. is Regional Director of the New York State Division of Human Rights. His jurisdiction spans 16 counties, including both the Rochester and Syracuse metropolitan areas. In 1973, Forrest Cummings, Jr. received a bachelor's from St. John Fisher College with a degree in psychology. He then went on to NYU to earn a master's degree in human relations. I might add, two great disciplines to have under your belt when you're dealing with human rights. Forrest Cummings, Jr. began his career in human rights in 1975 as field representative in the Rochester office. He was then promoted to senior field representative in the Upper Manhattan office in Harlem. In 1983, he was promoted to regional director and returned to the Rochester office. Now, these accomplishments are very impressive. But I must say that perhaps the greatest feat to date may possibly be the fact that he was one of the very few high-ranking officials at the New York State Division of Human Rights to survive the Republican takeover in New York State politics in 1994. Forrest Cummings, Jr. has many civic and volunteer activities. To mention a few, he has served on the board of directors for the Finger Lakes Health Systems Agency, the Epilepsy Association of Greater Rochester, the Boys and Girls Club of Rochester, the Baden Street Settlement, and the Urban League of Rochester. In his spare time, he hosts the weekly Rochester radio program, Jazz Ain't Nothing But Soul. My relationship with Forrest Cummings, Jr. has been for me a continual source of wisdom, knowledge, and support, and my search for answers to an incredible amount of questions, some seemingly simple, others mysteriously difficult. Regardless of the issue in question, however, Forrest is always willing to take time out of his extremely busy schedule to indulge my pesky curiosity and my insatiable desire to know everything there is to know about New York State human rights law. Now, he is a patient soul, always answering my whys, why nots, whens, whos, hows. His answers are always steady, balanced, assuring, sincere, and wise. Steady because of his lifetime commitment to human rights issues. Balanced due to his endless dedication to justice and equality. Assuring because his life work has been spent defending the disenfranchised and the powerless. Sincere because he knows truth is justice's strongest and most effective defender. And wise because in his line of work, he has been a witness to both the very best human nature has to offer and the very worst. Ladies and gentlemen, Forrest Cummings Jr. represents for me the very best that human nature can offer. So it is my great pleasure to introduce you to my colleague, my mentor, and my friend, Forrest Cummings Jr.
Thank you, Karen. I think the introduction is longer than my speech. One of the things that I'm very mindful of when you speak to audiences, especially keynote addresses, the 3 B's: be clear, be brief, and be gone. I've been approached on several occasions. I was here a week ago, Tuesday night, and the commissioner asked me the title of my speech. And at that time, I didn't give him a title because I hadn't written it yet. But the title of my speech is The Triumph of, let me make sure I get this right here. The Triumph of the Human Spirit, or the Majesty of the Blues. It is indeed a privilege and a personal honor to have been asked by the commissioners, members to have been asked by the commission members to deliver this keynote address on such a joyous and monumental occasion. Mrs. Blue and I would like to say that I have come here this evening to celebrate your being, acknowledge your accomplishments, and pay homage to your heritage as a civil rights warrior. Yes, I said warrior. Not often that said that people who raise the banner of goodwill are themselves warriors. Mrs. Blue, I did not come here to nudge you into antiquity or usher you into a rocking chair, as some folks might think. Because I know that the fires and ambers of a true advocate will continue to burn and grow inside you long after you have moved to a new phase of life. I personally cannot recall a time when I did not know the blues, or Rosa Blues. You see, the music of the blues and the human rights movement have much in common. We believe that the origins of the concept of human rights and the struggle for civil rights found its beginning in words and the spirit of the Declaration of Independence, when the framers wrote that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We now begin to feel the pulse of a nation that has sacrificed, suffered, and struggled under the tyrannies of oppression in the name of freedom. Thus, the movement for equality was born. Its roots have spread throughout the world. The human rights movement continues to thrive, grow, and even flourish, in spite of the fact that we have not always cultivated, fertilized, or embraced those who have stood up for, spoke out against, or symbolized the noble concept of equality for all. It is, and it will always be, the will of the human spirit of such faithfuls as Miss Rosa Blue. As I mentioned there are some similarities and commonalities between the blues and the struggle for human rights, other than my good friend, Miss Rosa Blue. You see, the blues is the music that grew out of the fertile soil of Mississippi Delta. Its origins can be traced to a people who labored under the same tyranny of oppression as the framers of our Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, Constitution. The history books and the musicologists will tell you that this noble music was born out of a rich tradition of the field holler, from the chain gangs, and from the spirituality of the church. I wouldn't dispute these facts, but what I would point out is that this music, like the human rights movement, grew and evolved as a result of a people's anguish, sorrow, grief, and heartache. There are also other similarities between the civil rights movement and the blues. Like any force that seeks its energy from the sun, a movement must have shakers and movers, people that facilitate, shape, direct, and capture the gravitational forces and summon the cosmological forces of the universe in order to ignite the human spirit. Sometimes we proclaim these individuals as pioneers, trailblazers, or leaders. We also know them by their special aura, their sense of purpose, their sense of duty, their courage, their dedication, and abiding faith in their God, and their love and devotion of those of us who have no voice to sing the blues, that can only feel the blues. These women and men of destiny, courage, and conviction, such as Abraham Lincoln, Nat Turner, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, and Dr. King. Women such as Harriet Tubman, Sister Teresa, Sojourner Truth, Susan B. Anthony, Rosa Parks, and yes, Rosa Blue. Just a little poetic license. These individuals wish for only one thing, and that is to improve the plight and condition of all people. Now we must remember that there were also great blues pioneers and legends. Obviously, I'm not referring to the Blues Brothers. We had many great blues singers: Mamie Smith, Bessie Smith, Memphis Minnie, Coco Taylor, Big May Bell, and Rosa Blue. When men such as Son House, Lightning Hopkins, Muddy Waters, and Howlin' Wolf, like the civil rights movement, had this King family, we have Eddie, Freddie, Alvin, and B.B. King. As we approach the next millennium, and we consider what political, technological, and economical and personal changes the future might bring for each of us, remember that the human spirit will endure, no matter what. To the Geneva community, I would like to say that in our midst, you have you have a vital resource called Rosa Blue, a person who has been the true embodiment of the noble concept of equality, fairness, and justice. Just like eternal vigilance is the price for democracy, we must be mindful that no matter what year it might be, the blues will always be the blues, because they have been grounded in the truth, shaped by the human spirit and condition. That means that no matter what anyone tells you, rock and roll is not the blues, rhythm and blues is not the blues, there's only one blues. By the same token, cultural diversity, multiculturalism is not a substitute for civil rights or human rights. These concepts in no way imply, infer, or suggest fairness, equal access, nor do they ensure equal opportunity for anyone. The community of Geneva needs to be equally as mindful of the fact that there are over 500 shades of the blues, and the blues are not a bad thing. The blues can be uplifting. They can give you insight and they can make you feel good. But this cannot happen if you neglect to utilize the blues available to you, and that is Miss Rosa Blue. In closing, I would like to quote the prophet Albert King, the blues prophet Albert King, I might add, and say to you, Miss Blues, that you have truly been an angel of mercy to many people, including myself. Thank you very much.
I presentation of the gifts, let me just include a few more thank yous. That beautiful program that you see before you was done by Charlie McNally and Keith Stockman. Could you stand up, please? Charlie McNally and Keith Stockman. Thank you. Now also, I sort of saved the best for last. We have what is called the dinner committee, and that consists of Ms. Jane Benson, Ms. Pam Boat, Ms. Caroline Warder. Please stand up and take your just dues. Now, without further ado, let's move this along, and I'd like Ken Reich to come up and give the presentation of the gift.
I need to go. It's with great pleasure that as the Chair of the Human Rights Commission, and on behalf of the Commission, that we honor Rosa with some small gifts, tokens of our appreciation, and we're going to open them. At least that's what I've been told, right? From the committee. They should be open the gifts. This is not a baby shower or a bridal shower. I guess we have to worry about breaking ribbons. Something that she doesn't have a lot of. And we're all thankful for that. This is a picture taken of Rosa. The only thing is Rosa doesn't know we're taking it back and hanging it in the commission hall. And then this is a small gift, and this is for you to do something for yourself. You spend so much of your life giving to everyone else, and this is for you to take an opportunity to do whatever you want.
Something special for yourself, a trip or something
kind of sort of short. You want to repeat that amount of money that you got?
No, you don't have to do that.
When I got the first envelope, he says, is any money in there?
No, we can't say anything yet, Mrs. Brewer. No, I guess there was something called, let me get this and make sure I read it correctly, the 2 + 1 Club. Also, asked me to please present this gift to you, and I will hold it as you open it.
Daddy Short, I was looking for you early. Finally, my husband said, that's her favorite. As you celebrate your retirement, a tree has been planted just for you to symbolize your new horizon. When life becomes less hurried as we go from day to day, and we build on the experiences we've had along the way, the knowledge and the wisdom that we've gathered through the years all take on greater meaning as this time of life appears. And as we count our blessings, we appreciate them more and find a joy in living that we never knew before. Just a wish that your retirement will be sure to bring your way all the special joys you're counting on through every single day. Congratulations from the 2 + 1 Foundation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Karen Joe, I say thank you.
I think the grandchildren had something to give to Mr. Blue. Would you come up, please?
Good evening, family and friends who have come to support our honoree this evening. My name is Wayne. I'm one of the many Blue grandchildren. I'm here tonight to pay recognition to the accomplishments and accolades of Miss Rosa Blue in the area of human rights and togetherness. Grandma, I know I miss the action often, but I do know when to show up. With all ado, I would like to present to you our token of gratitude from your grandchildren for your years of dedication in the area of human rights. Getting spoiled too much.
Best wishes on your retirement. Mom, you are truly the wind beneath our wings. Congratulations on your special day. And this is from Gloria.
Sheldon Flory. Rosa, if you play it right, you can go to work part-time, have another retirement. I've done it 3 times. I was listening to, I guess it was the Oswego FM station the other day, and they were doing a history of the civil rights movement, and a young woman spoke and told about how when the Montgomery struggle was over and folks could ride in the buses, started riding in the bus, her grandmother always went to the back of the bus. And then one day, the granddaughter and the grandmother were alone on the bus, and the grandmother was in the back of the bus, and the daughter went and sat next to her and said, "Grandma, don't you know what the struggle was about? You don't have to sit here." And she said, "No, honey, that's not what the struggle was about. The struggle was about I can sit where I please. I please to sit here." So that got me thinking of other darker days, and I kept remembering the horror scenes on black and white television back in the evenings in those days on the evening news in the streets of Birmingham, and what was going on there with the dogs and the hoses and all the rest of it. And I began a poem. People who know me know that I always react to things by writing poems. And I ran this by Patty today. She said it's okay. This is a poem. It's for Rosa. It's not about Rosa. It's about all of us. It's in memory of Ed Jenkins and of Al Hill and Dr. King. And it's called Black and White TV. The evening news, and here they come, the heavy cops, the firemen trotting in formation under their sweeping hats and rubber coats, scowling, shouldering the water cannons. They halt, brace against recoil, grimacing as if they were the ones in pain. And we saw before us in livid motion what froze as stills for every front page. The dogs jumping stiff-legged, lips shucked back, white fangs slavering, that trouser leg torn, shorts to shoes, so many arms up, out, pale palms turned from faces, no, no. Pauline, my friend Pauline says, "When I was a kid in Birmingham, I worked in the Connor's house. Even then, he wasn't called Bull for nothing." Hoses coiled, dogs kenneled, Pauline and Bull both gone. Well, it was nice for us white liberals up north to have real villains to rage at. In Maine then, where I had a parish, I should have preached on how our Indians and French Canadians had to live, knocked us wasps off our high horse. Now, politically correct, multicultural, strive to build black businesses, black execs, pay athletes, actors millions. We have a prez who says he'll keep affirmative action, except downsize it like everything else. And still, the tear-salt ocean widens between us. When Carter, who drives and dresses well, is stopped on the Jersey Pike between his 2 professorships at Harvard and at Princeton, is pulled over, presumed, my God, Stephen Carter, Doctor of Divinity, presumed a drug lord, patted down and told, "Move, nigger." When General Gray is stopped for driving slowly through his own neighborhood in Pittsford, where he teaches school. Explanation? Well, there's been these robberies lately. When you have to tell a table full of louts, young louts, you can't eat in the same room with their racist mouths and leave the restaurant trembling. Well, much and nothing has changed. A learned black elite as large as Harlem's Renaissance, West, Gates, Morrison, the rest, yet iron still clangs shut, and personal slights humiliate, sting, and smart in secret. Brother Martin, pray for us. Still, there are gigs where slowly, we do overcome. Strong human rights commissions are one of those. The thing is, keep the dream, but take heart only from what can be done and not struck from our hands. Thank you. Dear Rosa, this poem is for you.
Thank you.
Bob Troy for those very inspirational remarks. I'd now like to call on Ms. Jane Benson for a few more remarks. Ms. Benson?
Well, I retired from the commission this year, so in Rosa's class, I guess. Not quite. I admired Rosa long before I knew her at all well. She spoke up for folks who had trouble making themselves heard, and I applauded that. I was appointed to the commission 14 years ago and was asked to serve as recording secretary when Marguerite Peruzzi retired from that post. It was Jane Melodetz who was influential in making that happen. Marguerite and I wrote minutes for more years than anyone else in commission history. We were either saints or fools. Marguerite surely was the saint, and I the fool. But seriously, I can't think of any better way to learn about the work of the Human Rights Commission than to be secretary for a few years. So I have seen Rosa in action for a long time, and for all those years have admired and respected her. She's a person of real backbone, not afraid to say what she thinks, and fearless of the personal consequences of her actions on behalf of human rights. For 29 years, she has been reminding folks in Geneva that it's wrong to discriminate in housing and employment, and that those in authority must deal fairly with all persons. She has made a difference. One measure of that difference is the things that might have happened in Geneva but didn't. Rosa knew how to resolve problems through mediation long before the establishment of the Center for Dispute Settlement. Well, not everything about Rosa is rosy. The paper she really wants to read is never on the top, middle, or bottom of the stack in front of her. She has so many ideas about things that should be changed in Geneva, Ontario County, New York State, and the USA, that meetings and phone calls can get very lengthy. And I learned early on never to give her my only copy of the document. And to make some extra copies in case she lost the one I did give her. My life has been enriched and my horizons expanded through my friendship with Rosa. I learned so many things through her, especially during my term as chair of the commission. On occasion, I sat in her office as she interviewed a client. Her skill in making and asking the right questions, pointing out holes in a story, bringing hidden assumptions to the surface was really amazing. In working with clients, she had just the right combination of sympathy and toughness. She did not hesitate to tell a person that he was mistaken in his perception of the situation. I learned about human rights law. I learned about the criminal justice system. Rosa spent many hours in Geneva City Court in support of clients who had problems with landlords or who were arrested under circumstances that raised questions. Her tenacity with intractable problems is awesome. She never gives up on an issue or a person that she believes in. In the 6 months since I retired from the commission, I've missed it. I've missed working with Rosa. I will value her friendship always. She should be very proud of her 29 years of dedication to the people of Geneva and the changes she has helped to bring about. Geneva is definitely a better place to live than it was 29 years ago. Rosa, thanks for a job well done and for all you've taught me. May you have much happiness during your well-earned retirement.
Next on the program is will now be led and We Shall Overcome by Gloria and Patricia Blue. I see Robin is here, so I'm sure Robin will lead us also. We Shall Overcome is on the back of your program. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I did promise her. Hold on, folks. I'm really jumping the gun.
I did not dream anything of this magnitude. You swell my heart. You worked hard with me, many of you. And I see so many co-workers in the audience who has been helpful on different levels. Some have come from so far that I just have to mention their name, and I don't know everybody's name. But I do want to point out one of the people that started it all, and that's my mother, Mrs. Essie Aikens. Would you stand, please? I want to let you know that she's a little woman, she was little then, but very intense and direct. And if she said something, you knew she meant it. If you didn't give it a second thought, it didn't take her long to confirm it. In no uncertain terms. But anyway, my mother, I probably wouldn't be here today had she not worked so hard and wanted her daughter to have an education. My ambition was to be a math teacher, junior high math teacher. I think I was a little crazy then. I also wanted 6 children, but I ended up with 7. So the Lord sometimes really do give you what you want. My mother, though, we grew up during the real segregated days. It really was worse than it is now. And growing up in North Florida, we often worked and had a few dollars. We always had a car. We lived about 4 miles from the town. Our cars were never new, but they served the purpose. Well, when it was time for me to go to high school, my mother and father decided that it was necessary to board me out with a family member across town so that I wouldn't have maybe I didn't think then that was so wise, but I know now it was very wise. And she had to, do some extra work to do that. Well, I didn't get to college. Went on and got married and started having children. But her efforts, I will always appreciate because she went that extra mile to do what she could. So in bringing up our children in the city of Geneva, where we still had problems, we came to the promised land, but the promised land wasn't that promising. So we had work to do here, but one of the things that we knew at an early level that our kids would go on to college if they wanted to. They knew that, her at an early age. And I didn't know how, but we knew they would, and they all did. As for being a math teacher, I had 3 different ambitions. Well, I guess I knew I wasn't going to be a math teacher. So then, traveling back and forth, we never lost sight of our roots at home in Florida. We packed those kids up in those nice picnic boxes and shoe boxes and the fried cake and fried chicken and cakes and what have you, because there were no decent restaurants along the way that we could stop in there. Many times not even bathrooms. So my second ambition was to build a motel around about North Carolina, about that. But now I got the money to do that. So then I got a call. I worked very hard with Molly Lineberg, the first executive director, and I can be wrong, and I don't want to do that. Anyway, we worked hard together. And then she said to me sometimes, well, you could do this job. And I said, well, Molly, I can't do that job. She says, well, I could teach you how to do it. But Molly didn't live very long to teach me. So I had a tough time learning how to do it. But I had my good old friends like Jerry Van Buren and Mary, and many, many more people, Sheldon Flory. So then I learned later that maybe my real calling was to teach people how to learn to love and appreciate each other. And that that's a lifelong chore, and one that I've tried to do, and I appreciate everything you said. Irvin, I know you got tired of me calling Jane. And my husband, I have to appreciate tonight for being here because when can I get to use the telephone? It all helps and it all works out for the better. Now, my brother is sitting there, Thomas Akins. Would you stand, Thomas? The only brother I have left. We call each other BB and BS, whatever that means. But we're there for each other when we need to be. My husband's sister from Buffalo, Deruka, stand with me. The latest addition to the family, Miss Alexis Cristiano. Okay, I'll learn these names one of these days. Brown and Reverend and Mrs. Brown, Robin, you understand? All my grandchildren stand that's here, all of them. Okay, Gloria. Richard and Donna, my second son. And you all know Patty. And
commissions of New York State. George and Ernest Hemingway, they are two of the founding members of this association. And Harry Bright is from White Plains, New York, who is chairperson of the association. Sitting there, I can never remember our ex-chairperson, who was quite dynamic. Yes. Marilyn.
The last name doesn't matter.
Just keep on doing what you're doing. And then we have New York State, and there are several, and I can't remember all of your names, but just, you already stood up. I'd just like to mention a few people. Howard Budd there, great man from the Region 6 New York State Advisory Council. Great man, great man. Stand up, Howard, please. Judge, I was just about to say somebody reading my mind. Judge Roy King is here. Judge King stood as a lawyer in our city courts many times, defending our clients without we didn't have a penny to offer them. And he fought. We were hoping that we'd get some money before you retired as an attorney so that we could repay you. So now as a judge, we don't know, I don't think you can take a second. I do not want to forget our local judge, John O'Malley. As a school board member, although we fought it, we needed those buses. And we needed to integrate the school. And I don't think he was directly against it, but he had a tough crew to work with sometimes. But anyway, Judge O'Malley, we appreciate everything that you've done and are doing. Now, we also have Tim Buckley here, who is learning. He's coming out. You see a person that's district attorney in there. One way, we get there and they come to the judge and think they're a different person. But it takes a little while to learn how to become mellow so that you can judge. And so many things, and I had something I didn't say, but maybe it wasn't worth saying anyway. But I'm going to close because I don't want to keep you all day. Charlie Kenny, our first vice chair, and Charlie, somebody heard you talking in a meeting the other night. They said you need to keep talking because you were saying something and it was effective. We miss you. Now, and one thing I do want to say, we have a new executive director. And someone said to me before I retired, oh, well, when you retire, who are we going to get now? We ain't going to get nobody as good as you. And I said, well, you know what? You ought to get somebody that's better than me because you're going to need them. And you know, by golly, I think mine's done. There is a lot of work to be done in this community. We're coming a long way, and Mayor, we really appreciate you being here, your comments and everything. And there is a lot of work to be done here. And when I look around and think about the things that have been done in the world during this century, I know that we are capable of doing more for the little city of Geneva, where everybody knows everybody anyway. The walls came down in Berlin. South Africa changed its system, and the man that was in prison is now the top person. You know, that should tell us something. And there's a lot that happened. But, well, we've been to the moon, and, you know, they said it did. Some question there whether we've been or not, but there was something that happened. I'm not sure. there are programs in the community now that we have struggled for and worked for years. We may just call them what they're being called, but they have the same purpose. And one is the Boys and Girls Club of America. We're hoping that it will reach its goal and will be able to provide the assistance to our young boys and girls that will help them to develop